From the brand new doTerra field at the UCCU Ballpark, I'm Jarod Ivins alongside
Brice, Larson.
This is Protect the Den.
So look at this, there's a bump right.
This is Protect the Den, produced in Orem, Utah, and found on YouTube, Twitter, and all podcast locations.
White, oh my, soars in, steal it, goes to work.
Here are your hosts, Jarod Ivins and Brice Larson. From the brand new doTerra field at the UCCU Ballpark, I'm Jarod Ivins alongside Brice Larson. Now, we're only a few days into March, and the madness has already begun. Brice, what's going on?
We've got breaking news out of Chicago. Chicago State has decided not to come to UVU because of the coronavirus. They say that they don't want to have their student athletes become infected with the virus. So the game on Saturday has been canceled.
UVU announced this morning that both games for the men's and women's will not be rescheduled. The WAC has awarded UVU with wins for WAC standings and for tournament seeding purposes. That's not on the Division I NCAA basis because it's no contest, but because the WAC is having their tournament start in just a week away, you know, that's starting.
Yeah, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Chicago State has even considered not showing up for the tournament in Las Vegas. All right, so now this kind of begs the question, are they really scared about coronavirus? Because there are 0 cases in Orem, Utah of coronavirus. And or are they just not wanting to spend the money?
It's not even travel in Las Vegas. It's a joke, man. They've lost every game they've played in WAC play. They have not won. They've won 4 games on the season in non-conference against the little Dabian teams. And now you're telling me they don't want to go to the Vegas tournament? No, I don't buy it.
So we understand the concern for the Seattle game. If they would have just canceled Seattle trip,
well, there's been all of the deaths that have happened in America have happened in Washington.
Yeah, and so it's understandable that they cancel the Seattle trip, but to not come to Utah and Orem, you just can't.
And then to not go to the Vegas tournament, I mean, we're going, UVU's going, the WAC still is holding the tournament. It just seems like, what's the point?
Yeah. But nevertheless, we have a great show besides all this breaking news out of Chicago. We're going to jump into topic 2. We have their headlines for you later on as well. We're going to talk a little bit about how far UVU can go in this WAC tournament.
Yeah. Also talk a little bit baseball. I mean, we're here at the UCCU Ballpark. Let's get ready. It's baseball season.
The sun is out. It is about 60 degrees
I should have brought my glasses. I'm a little bit mad at myself that I didn't. But right into your headlines. Men's and women's hoops. Both teams close out the season on Thursday versus UMKC. The men's team will be at home for senior night while the women are on the road in Kansas City. So good luck to both squads and hopefully bring home that Wolverine W.
Now into baseball. Baseball fell to the Cougars 5-4 just up the Parkway last night. They had a great game. Cade Polson showing out for the Wolverines.
Yeah. It was tough. They took a 4-1 lead at the end of the first inning. BYU tied things up in the second, and then they scored what would end up being the game-winning run in the 5th. Yeah. UVU had opportunities to score in the 7th and 8th, even in the 9th, but mostly the 7th couldn't control things, and they fell just down the Parkway.
In track and field, Larry Still has officially qualified for the NCAA Division I Men's Indoor Track and Field Championships.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Larry Still.
He's the second ever Wolverine to qualify and compete at the meet.
Yeah.
That's incredible. The meet is going to take place at the Albuquerque Convention Center March 13th and 14th in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So, of course it's in March. March is full of everything. What's not to like about March? It's absolutely perfect.
Oh, yeah. All right, Jarod. Let's talk a little bit about WAC Vegas here. How far?
Vegas, baby.
How far do you think realistically Utah Valley can go in the WAC tournament?
Right now, I'm telling you, UVU is going to win 2 games in Vegas minimum.
2 games minimum.
I'm telling you right now.
All right.
UVU is clicking at the right time. Yes, they haven't gotten as many wins as they would have liked, but they've been in every major game that they've played. They lost at the buzzer on the road to the WAC leaders, New Mexico State. They have swept Grand Canyon. That's not something easy, especially to do on the road and then winning at home. Buzzer-beating win against UTRGV.
Yeah.
And now they get to show what they're made of in their final home game tomorrow night. So UVU's playing well. They've been shooting above their averages in field goal percentage and three-point field goal percentage in their last 4 games. They've gone 2-2 in those games.
Yeah, Thursday is shaping up to be what, it could be what we see in Vegas here.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity, there's a little bit of a chance where Utah Valley could meet UMKC as a 3-6 matchup in Vegas.
Yeah.
Being awarded the win against Chicago State already has helped
Yep.
Utah Valley.
They were going to win that game anyways. I promise you that. They
So
were not
as long
going to lose
as
that game.
CSU Bakersfield loses and UMKC holds on to that 3rd seed spot, we could see a little UVU and UMKC in WAC Vegas.
Yeah. I like the fact that now this game against UMKC becomes senior night. Senior night, you always play with more emotion. It's your last game ever at home for these wonderful seniors who have balled out all of their careers. And knowing it's your last chance in the UCCU Center, you want to play out for your fans, for your family, and for your team and coaches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they want to... It gives that more energy. They lost a tough one early in the season to UMKC on the road.
Yeah.
So now, without even having to worry about crushing and dominating Chicago State, we're going to be able to see them in a tough win tomorrow night.
Yeah, it will be a great game. But as we sit here at doTerra Field in
Sunbathing.
UCCU Ballpark, Jarod, this field is almost complete. It should be complete about Tuesday, just before the baseball team's home opener versus Air Force Tuesday night. Hopefully we'll be able to see some baseball on this field. But let's hear a little bit about this baseball team.
The baseball team has struggled on the start. They're 3-10 overall. They did get a pair of wins against non-conference foe before coming back to Provo to a tough loss last night. But I think UVU is going to start clicking a little bit more, especially now being on their home turf. Literally, turf. It's turf back there. They've been working out very hard to get this field done as soon as possible. And being able to play at home provides much more oomph.
Yeah.
You know your home field. It's home field
energy
advantage.
Going for it. Yeah.
The fans will be here, family will be here, and you play better at home. And that's what UVU hasn't had.
Yeah.
They had to play, even though it was down the road, they had to play
the road.
at BYU. It's a hostile environment. They had to travel to Portland. They had to travel
San
to
Jose
Arizona,
State.
San Jose State. So now being at home, it's going to bring a lot more continuity to this team.
Yeah, that game will be Tuesday night, 6 p.m. versus the Air Force Falcons.
Hopefully it's here.
It will be a great game, and we encourage all of you to come out Tuesday night to cheer on the baseball team. Go Wolverines.
Yeah. And earlier today, Brice caught up with UVU insider Lincoln, who speaks specifically on UVU baseball. And we'll jump to that interview right now.
I'm here with Lincoln Morris, college baseball insider. We're going to talk a little bit about UVU baseball, kind of a little bit about their game that happened yesterday with the Cougars over in Provo, just down the Parkway. Lincoln, what did you see from the Wolverines in that game?
I saw them come out really hot. They started the game really great, back-to-back hits, bringing in 2 runs from Cade Polson.
Yeah.
Later in the inning, they were able to get 2 more runs off of 2 more hits. Really great start. Later in the game, struggled, didn't end up scoring at all. But overall, it was a good show out from the beginning. Struggled late.
Yeah. And, that's something that Coach Mick Madsen really has to figure out with this team. He's got to figure out how they're going to close out these ball games. BYU's a great baseball team, and one thing that we noticed yesterday is that the Wolverines, they hung in there with the Cougars. That's really something that is an upside, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They were able to hang in there, battle through, and they kept it close. It definitely wasn't a blowout win or a blowout loss for UVU, but it was a close game. It was fun to watch, definitely.
Yeah, obviously not the start to the season that the Wolverines were looking for. Only have 3 wins so far this season. Hopefully, coming up on this next Tuesday, they've got a little series with Air Force here at home. I believe they are going to Washington to play a little bit of ball up there in Spokane. And so we'll see how the Wolverines can do. Thank you, Lincoln, for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
You'll see more of Lincoln as the baseball season goes along. Once again, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
And that was a great interview with Lincoln
Love
Morris,
that, man.
one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Just a great guy, very knowledgeable about baseball. But we are grateful that you've tuned in to Protect the Den on this special.
We're here in the sun.
Next week we will still be in the sun. It'll
We
be
will.
75 degrees and warm, sunny outside. We're going to be catching you in Las Vegas from Orleans Arena.
Right now in Vegas, it's 72 degrees. That's what I'm getting. Here in Orem, Utah, 54.
It feels like 80.
It feels like 80 next week. We're driving down to Vegas, get the shows outside, inside. We're going to have coverage from Orleans Arena. We're going to have Coach Mark Madsen alongside with Danielson. It's going to be awesome. Everything's going to be going great from Vegas, bringing you all that coverage.
We're grateful once again for you tuning in here to Protect the Den. Catch us on all podcast locations, wherever you tune in. We're on YouTube, Twitter. But until next time, I'm Brice Larson alongside Jarod Ivins.
Protect the Den, baby.